Hi everyone, let me show you the Renaissance-inspired marble machine, as if Leonardo da Vinci himself would have designed it. And I don't know if you knew, but Leonardo da Vinci designed musical instruments, mechanical music instruments, pretty cool. So in this video I want to talk a bit about why I think the marble machine should be inspired by the Renaissance time period from history rather than the Industrial Revolution time period. But let's start at looking at this new marble machine design. Here on the left side we have the clockwork, we have the Huygens drive giving an even power input, we have the governor making the music completely tight, and we have a ring lift system for the marbles. The instruments are situated on a curve, meaning all the marbles can be picked up by one giant funnel. So the old joke of making the whole floor a funnel is almost there. And I love the music position of the drums here. We have this carousel, and then we have the bass here. And on the right side, we have the control station. So this is where I control the machine. I'm controlling the machine with some adjusting wheels and with a lot of levers. And then the power input are these pedals. So the power from the pedals travels along this axle. This axle power this flywheel, who is actually ratcheting the middle wheel of the Huygens drive. I can insert the power with my feet, having both of my hands free to play music, and my power will lift this weight, and from there the whole machine will play tight music in whatever tempo I want to. Perhaps I've said this before, but it feels like this is the first time I see a clear path to success for the Marble Machine 3. Because when I started this project, the machine looked like this. I made a video called 10-meter wide marble machine. You guys hated it. And I just positioned everything out very functionally. And the thing is that this doesn't feel like a marble machine. My original marble machine was this beautiful skeleton clock, rectangular standing piece of art that is like a monster music box. This looks like an Industrial Revolution factory. The design is so spread out, so it doesn't feel like one machine. It's just a mishmash of mechanical components. So then we have this. It's cooler, but it's not good enough. Why? It's still spread out. It looks like a factory of some kind. It's not like this one art piece that the original machine was. The marble machine has lost its identity here. And this is the last thing that I've been looking for. To find the placement and the identity of the marble machine, I made this cardboard model and I tried a lot of things and I showed it to Hannes. He was not impressed. And we kind of agreed that it really sucked. I was not happy either, actually. But then Hannes says something by the end of that video. Hannes has a new idea. What if we stagger them on top of each other? So we put the vibraphone on top of the drums.
Make everything a little bit tighter and feeling like one more big piece of a machine.
So I tried putting the vibraphone on top of the drums in the cardboard model, and we instantly loved it.
I'm in love.
This is good.
I'm in love.
This feels like MMX on steroids.
I'm in love.
When I got back from my New York trip, I sat down to make a bit of a CAD sketch. So this was my first version. And then I made a new blocked out sketch version. So the big difference from this one and this one is that here we have the vibraphone on top of the drums. I think we're gonna get some amazing camera angles like this. Compared to the previous versions, we also have some simplifications. Here we have 2 programming wheels, 2 conveyor belts, 2 marble collectors. In the new machine, we have only one of each essential part. So there's one programming wheel, which is the brain that plays the music of the machine. By having just the one single programming wheel, we're losing some musical freedom, but we're also ditching a big problem to sync these 2 huge programming wheels. We don't have that issue anymore. I'm also skipping a lot of bells and whistles. Do you remember the shaker machine that I built with very popular videos? That was super cool. It's gone. We need to focus on playing music with marbles on this machine. I can build other mechanical music machines in the future. I need to keep functions down to make something reliable that I can tour with. So let's take a quick measurement from this corner over here is 9.7 meters from here to there. That's 2.5 meters. So this machine is much narrower and much tighter. I might try to squeeze the machine even more to get it more like this standing skeleton clock vibe, but this is much better. This feels like one machine. So the identity of the marble machine depends a lot on where do we put the parts. Do we make it wide? Do we make it high? Etc. But another thing that is really important for the identity is what material should we use to build the machine? And this is where Leonardo da Vinci comes in. So Leonardo designed two mechanical instruments. First, a drum wagon. The drum wagon was designed as a weapon of war meant to intimidate and confuse the opposing armies. And then Leonardo also made this super cool drummer robot, which looks a lot like a humanoid robot from nowadays. And notice that Leonardo is using this principle right here in the middle of the drum robot. So in one of the videos from the past year, I talked a lot about Industrial Revolution machines, and those machines are made from metal. And I've been thinking a lot of what materials I should use for my big marble machine. This kind of Industrial Revolution cast iron metal wheels would be extremely heavy, not easy for us to transport around on the tour. And then I always love Leonardo da Vinci's mechanical drawings, and this is from the High Renaissance, and all these designs are made from wood. And I was like, the original machine has a pretty cool identity just because it's made from plywood. And then I was like, can we actually make a machine like this from plywood? So plywood is back on the menu. We're going full circle. I think this is a really pragmatic material choice for several reasons. It will be the biggest plywood gears in the world, probably. Only that is really cool. Plywood gears makes a lot of people nervous. When you know how much the material is moving and when you know what kind of tolerances you can expect from a material and you design with those properties in mind, it's fine. We can have a lot of backlash so the gears can move. So if the plywood is moving a little bit from humidity in the air or room temperature, we're fine. We just have to design that into the process. The idea with the mechanical programming wheel, already Leonardo da Vinci had it 500 years ago. So I was kind of feeling, it can help me a lot by positioning the design of the marble machine in a historic context. So I think the machine should be positioned in High Renaissance with a touch of scientific revolution to it. And of course, when we have parts that needs to be really precise, I will use metal, I will use Delrin, I will use machinable plastics or 3D printable plastics for some parts. But to sum it up, this historical context to push back the machine from the Industrial Revolution to High Renaissance is kind of helping me a lot in my relationship to the machine, the identity of the finished sculpture, and also some design issues. It kind of gives me a framework, it gives me a design space which I can be creative within. So yeah, I think this is the machine that I will tour with. We'll see. I'm gonna do my best. Me and Wilson just watched Veritasium's video on the strand base, and that's a great example of how a narrow material choice makes an identity of a mechanical being. Just like the strand base feels like a strand base because of the PVC pipe, I think the marble machine feels like the marble machine because of the plywood. 24 is coming to an end, and I want to go back here and comment a bit on the work I've done last year. It has been a confusing and pretty tough year because I've been doing a lot of unlearning. I think unlearning is something people really don't like to do. Last summer in Germany, I built this flywheel to see if I could play tight music. And the result from this was no. Only a flywheel wouldn't make a marble machine play tight enough. So then I started to think, how can I play tighter music mechanically? And I found the Huygens drive through an astronomical telescope. This worked good, the Huygens drive. So next I researched the concept of using a programming wheel with profiles instead of programming pins. And then of course we found the holy grail marble divider, this thing, and it just works. So this divider is going to be at the top of the new marble machine. So after that I tried to make a flyable governor. The idea to use a governor came from the gramophone, because of course a gramophone needs to play tight music. And I could see on my measurements like the governor plus the Huygen drive was like perfect tempo. And I introduced the idea of using different size of marbles on the new machine. Then I started to CAD these wide machines that we already have dismissed in today's video. And then I think the project took a bit of a turn with this video. I just realized why I'm doing the marble machine project.
What I realized that what made the first video viral wasn't the depth of hardcore engineering, it was the lack of hardcore engineering, the naivety, the playfulness, the joie de vivre, the like, let's just build something cool.
Yes. So I was like I was so scared of failing again. So I was like, the machine should be only practical. And now I'm like, I want the machine to be scientific, but with a hint of religion as well. It needs to be fun. It needs to be an art piece. So then I started introducing the idea with having 45-degree shafts. And then I learned a better design process from how they made the film up. And this is where my unlearning really started. I read this book, How Big Things Get Done. And what this book teaches you is to stay at the sketch part of the process for a long time. In the vein of this new design process, I started experimenting with cardboard to find the visual identity of the machine. And then I went into my industrial revolution phase, because I realized that the machine really should have a giant flywheel, and it's not just for looks, it's actually for functions. I learned to write design requirements, my least popular video ever. And then I started this mechanical tambourine that played the forbidden song.
Hey Martin, you told me you were never gonna play Wonderwall again. Well, I said maybe.
10 of 10 joke, if I can say it myself. I got this machine to play like a human. That is so cool. But you know what is even cooler? Is that I'm not going to have a mechanical shaker on my marble machine. The marble machine is a machine that plays music with marbles. I have to simplify. Apple didn't put a cup holder onto their iPhone, right? So I shouldn't have a mechanical shaker on my marble machine. See? Oh, that's the sound of 10,000 experienced engineers agreeing with me. Ah, I like that. I built the Animusic rotisserie, and then I made moving drums, a prototype from the Animusic world as well. And then I made this, the future retro Animusic cover with the moving drums. But the best thing that happened on this video was that I got a comment from the Animusic creator himself. This is what Wayne Little, one of my biggest idols and inspirations of my whole life, writes to me on my video. I'm so starstruck here. Great job, Martin! Exclamation mark. So fun to watch! Exclamation marks. I like people who uses exclamation marks in writing. I overuse them myself. And I'm always impressed by someone who builds in the physical world. Everything Dave and I ever built was all CGI, of course. Very good that Wayne is clarifying, because it looked so real when you saw Pipe Dream for the first time. You never saw it, and I was like, is this real? Like, you were not used to that level of animation that they built when those videos premiered. Wayne writes, a few weeks ago, a friend sent me a link to your functional percussion rotisserie from Pipe Dream. I laughed and laughed. I didn't realize it was part of a bigger plan. This was a joy to watch. By the way, your marble machines are beautiful. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I haven't done this yet, but I'm gonna pin Wayne's comment. I'm gonna heart it. And I need to reply to Wayne. Oh, I'm nervous. I hope I can play music with marbles live on stage someday, making that pipe dream real. Yes! And then, the last building video I did for this year was the video where me and Hannes figured out that the original Marble Machine got it right. The monster music box feeling is essential to the identity of the Marble Machine. So, however scatterbrained you feel I have been during this year, I think I've done something pretty exceptional, if I'm going to be honest with you, because I have unlearned, I've gone against my own confirmation biases of how the world looks like, and I've looked at some hard facts, and I've taken inspiration from outside of myself, and I think I've become a better designer for it. But this unlearning part has taken a lot of time. So hopefully from here, we then can have a catch-up effect with progress and execution. We'll see. Apart from putting the machine in a historical context to get an identity, I've also been inspired by another abstract design concept, the circle. So we have the gears, they are often circular. The instruments are in an arc. Drums are circular. The circle of life is circular. So I think the circular theme can help me create a unique identity for the Marble Machine. I'm also running in circles in this project. We'll go full circle on the plywood. See, it's a good theme for this project, right? Here's some images from my New York trip. I had such a great time in the city of dreams. I got to hang out with my great friend Barnaby Dixon. Go check out his amazing YouTube channel. And I got to play an improvised chess game against this gentleman in the back of a chess store. I had a mate in one in the first game that he missed, but he was clearly better than me, so I had to offer him a rematch, and he beat me easily on the second game. Yeah, I think I should resign this to you. Thanks. On the first day when we arrived, we had a kind of a 1.5 hour car drive to outside New York into the countryside, and I wanted to try Tesla's full self-driving system. Oh, it's on. Okay, we're on full self-driving, supervised. So I've been driving the full self-driving European version for 6 years, and I've been so excited to try the American version, which is the better one. And we're going from Brooklyn to New Haven, and I've never driven in New York City ever. So this is my first time in a car. This is my first day in New York City. I've never been here, and now I'm being driven automatically. Automagically, as we like to call it. So I've never seen these streets. I'm not touching the pedals, but I am supervising. I am responsible. And wow, okay, this is not how it is in Sweden. It just pushed into the new lane. Great. Wow. Oh, look, Manhattan. Yeah, cool. Wow. Wow, what a feeling. This is so different. This is so different. Stop sign. Wow. Wow. Parked car? No problem. No problem. So it's a neural network, real world AI application trained on massive amount of video data from driving. And there's a lot of critics thinking this is a hazard to public safety. And I'm completely in another camp that human drivers are losing attention and creating a lot of pain and accidents on the road. The self-driving cars will also cause accidents eventually, but way less than human drivers. To be against self-driving cars is basically being for the status quo we have right now, with a lot of people dying in traffic. It's the end of the drive. I'm so tired, and no critical interventions so far. So we have 5 minutes to the hotel. This car has driven a European traveler out of New York City into New Haven with 0 critical interventions. I pressed the gas pedal 3 times and I indicated into the right lane 2 times. Is it going to park or is it just gonna stay here? Ah, this is disappointing.
It wants you to park.
Park for me. Am I supposed to park by myself like some kind of an animal? Driving will become a hobby just like horse riding is. That's what I think. It was a great experience. the marble machine has turned out to be a personal development project for me. I think when I had to cancel the Marble Machine X, I really did feel that I let everyone down. So instead of being just curious about what can I create, I've been a bit like guarded and hesitant and a bit anxious about what I can lose. And I think for 2025, I need to finally step out of that. And one of the ways I'm going to step out of that is that I'm going to focus on designing the machine, and I'm not going to focus on YouTube videos. So, to everyone backing Wintergatan, if you feel that you want to support a YouTube video part of it, I totally understand if you want to lower your support or pause it, because it's not going to be a video every Wednesday. However, if you do feel that you want to support me taking the time to focus on designing of the machine, you're very, very welcome to do so. Because I do feel I want to give you more than what you feel you're giving me. That's super important for me. So yeah, for 2025, I want to go back to the feeling I had when I built the first marble machine. Just exploration, just have fun designing this crazy thing. And the machine itself is still super much fun. I sometimes feel that I don't have a lot of fun things to show in the videos, so I'm only going to make really fun videos when I have stuff to show you. So I'm only going to make videos that you're gonna enjoy to watch, and then I'm going to enjoy to make. Sometimes when I made a video every Wednesday, I felt sometimes that I did filler videos, and my life and your life is too short for filler videos. We have enough of those on YouTube. 2025 is a year of doubling down on fun and focus on the machine, and I'm of course going to document my whole journey here on YouTube, but it's going to be design and machine first and YouTube second. With that, I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. See you soon. Ciao.